Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new episode from Lulu's Diaries. I hope you guys are enjoying the show as much as we are. So before we get into the episode, let me introduce our friends to you. So hi Jafar, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good, thank you for asking. How was your weekend?
It was also amazing.
Oh, really?
Summer. I'm able to do whatever
What did
I
you
want.
do? What did you do?
So since it was summer, it was perfect time to go to the beach. That's what I
Yeah.
did. I went, enjoyed myself. Me and my brother, we went swimming. We, just stayed there for a while.
Yeah, and especially since in Kuwait it's usually like really hot, and especially in summer it's even hotter. So it's really fun. And so what was your favorite part about like your beach day?
Just the view of the beach.
The
I
view.
mean, in Kuwait we don't have very exotic places. Obviously, we don't have red sand or
Yeah.
pink sand, those kinds of things. But it's still very beautiful. It's nature. It's all about enjoying it. There are still fish in the sea, by the way, and we were trying to catch some of them.
Oh.
Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
And yeah, I enjoyed that a lot.
Oh, I'm glad you enjoyed your day. And hi Judy, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, thank you for asking. And how was your weekend?
My weekend went pretty great. Me and Tyler went to the mall. We watched a movie in the cinema, and we also went shopping. And we ate lunch and we got a snack. It was a pretty good day. We had fun.
Oh, well, I'm glad you had fun. So what was your favorite part?
Probably food.
Food. I think that's everyone's favorite
Yeah,
part of the day. Well, I'm guessing Tyler, your weekend is the same.
Yes,
so
exactly.
how are you?
I'm amazing. How are you?
I'm good, thank you for asking.
How was your weekend?
Oh, thank you for asking. My weekend was actually really fun. I went out with my family for lunch. I got a bit of summer shopping done because we've got the summer trip coming our way. So
I'm loving your
have to
dress,
get
actually.
we have to get some shopping done and be prepared. And
But that's amazing.
oh, thank you. And how was your day with Judy?
It was pretty good actually. We had fun. We had some talks and stuff. It was fun.
That's nice. Well, I'm glad you guys enjoyed your weekend. So from the sound of you guys, all of you had an amazing weekend. I'm pretty sure everyone is really excited about summer and everything is going really well. So let's hop on today's episode. Well, today's episode is basically about, let's say about the ambulance and how you can take care of people, especially since it's summer. We're also going to be talking about the desert. We like to call it in Arabic the bar, but it's usually the desert, and what you could do activities over there and how you can be safe whilst doing all these activities. So Jafar, I would like to tell you because you've told me before that you took, what did you take? A course?
The emergency first responders
Yeah,
course.
so please tell us about that because that's really useful for emergencies.
Yeah, obviously it's very useful because when we're out, we're doing different things, different activities. There are always many risks. If someone falls from something, trips, and whatever happens, there are many risks that they get injured, or sometimes when you're going somewhere, there's someone who's just knocked out, or they fainted. So what emergency first responders do is they find those people. When the situation arises, they first assess the place, the scenario, and see what's going on. They understand and assess why that person might have been knocked out, and then they start doing some checks on that person, checking their breathing, their pulse, and try to resuscitate them and get them to start breathing again.
Oh, so that's actually really good because that would help you in everyday life because you never know what might come up your way, And so what's one thing that you learned that was, let's say, the most helpful that you think everyone should know about?
I think that the whole course was amazing. The whole thing is very useful for everyone, especially the parts where it's not only about just bringing them back to life or helping them. It's about understanding why they might have fallen down. They assess the situation. They understand the dangers, the risks, and they're able to kind of diagnose the patient.
Yeah. Well, I think that's absolutely amazing that you went ahead and tried something like this. That made me want to try something like this because I think as if you never know what might come your way, and so I think it's very important. And Tala, I wanted to ask you, what do you think about this? Would you ever take it and do a course as Jafar did? And how do you think it would benefit you in everyday life?
Well, definitely, I'd love to go to like the same place, like do the same course actually Jaffa did, because like it seems to be amazing and it helps a lot, and like as you said, in your everyday life. So maybe basically someone from your family or your friends, when you're out, had an injury or something. At least you know what to do. You can help, not just stand there and just freak out just like everyone. You know, this is gonna be really helpful, and I also think it's like it's important to learn these stuff, like even though we're not that old, because like these are gonna help us, like, especially if maybe in a place there were no adults, or maybe there were no phones, you couldn't call someone or something. It's really important, and like I think it's amazing.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%, and it's actually really important to take these courses, and we'll talk about it right after this quick report.
Hello everyone, we're currently actually at a hospital facility, and as you can see behind me, there are actually a lot of vehicles related to paramedics, and even some of them are actually aerial aircrafts. Today we're going to be taking you on a little bit of a tour here and explaining to you all about the things that occur inside of it and what the first aid kit consists of, and many other things. So I hope you all understand a little bit more about it and enjoy this episode.
Gotta get ready for the day ahead. There may be people in need of me. Put on my siren and rush to the spot. Could be an emergency. If there's an emergency, you just can't take any chance. When you're needing a hospital, call me, I'm an ambulance. Yes, I'm an ambulance. My job is to save people. When there's an accident, I'm first to reach. I know the importance of time. Carry a team of medics with me. They do a job so fine. If there's an emergency, you just can't take any chance. When you're needing a hospital, call me, I'm an ambulance. Cars make way for me when they see me on the road, because they know it's an emergency. Gotta get ready for the day ahead. There may be people in need of me. Put on my siren and rush to the spot. Could be an emergency. If there's an emergency, you just can't take any chance. When you're needing a hospital, call me, I'm an ambulance. Yes, I'm an ambulance. Hope you don't need to call me, but if you do, I'll be there.
Hi dear viewers, and welcome back from that quick report. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as we did. And coming back to our topic that we were talking about, which was basically about first aid or like helping an ambulance and stuff like that. I wanted to go ahead and ask Judy, let's see, if you were like stuck in an emergency, or let's say someone had like a cut or something, what would be the first thing that you would do? Like, would you call someone, or like just take action in your own hand?
I would definitely call someone, because I don't know if I can take action and then do a big mistake. So, but if it was a small cut, I would probably get like ice or like a bandage or something until they come and see like what actually is wrong. But if it was something like big and like I don't know how to manage to like know what's up and stuff, I would definitely call the emergency and they would like take care of it.
Yeah, I think a thing that's useful for everyone, and I think everyone should start doing and like maybe carrying with them, is a little first aid kit. I think it's very, very necessary, and I think it's really helpful. Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is they always have these first aid kits in school, and I'm sure in my school they have it like in every bag, every class, and it has a bag with like the first aid kit. And sometimes they put water with cups just in case like someone couldn't breathe. Like I think it's a really smart thing to do, because like you never know what someone has, like if like they can't breathe well, if something happened to them, and you always have to have the first aid kit. And whenever we go to practice the fire drill thing, they always have it just in case of the sun. And it's just a thoughtful thing from teachers and like the school in general, because they think about like your health and stuff.
Yeah, I personally think that it's very important to involve something in such an environment like schools, or especially I see them every time we go on like a school trip. I see like 2 in each bus, or like, because it's really, really important for buses to have a certain thing, because again, you never know what might go wrong or might go right. So it's really important to be prepared and have something there just in case something happens. You know, we have to be prepared and things like that. And Jafar, I wanted to ask you, like, from the experience that you took from your the courses, have you taught any of them to Hamza or any of your friends or your other siblings?
So sometimes I do use some concepts from the course to teach my friends and Hamza sometimes. But since I'm not an instructor, I'm not legally allowed to give people licenses, because it's not just about the knowledge. There's like a whole procedure to it, and it's a very official thing. Like even when you go to someone, you see that someone maybe was knocked out, they're unconscious, you can't actually start operating on them. You have to ask them, hello, may I help you? You have to ask, is it okay if I help you, even if they're not conscious, just so that if they then maybe sue you in court for touching with them or helping them out, the witnesses around them can say, no, he actually did ask, and there was no response, he needed the help. So it's a very official thing, very, you need to be an instructor to it.
It's also like really respectful towards like you and the person. We have to have manners, whatever the case is, even though the person is dying. I think it's important to ask them. And Tyler, were you going to say something?
I wanted to agree on what you said, that I think it's really important to ask before you do anything, because sometimes it might get awkward and like they maybe wouldn't like or something. So I think that's an amazing thing to do.
Yeah, I agree with you guys 100%. And I also think that there are a lot of like fires that happen in Kuwait, and so fires are like really like, they're one of the worst case scenarios that would take place and would like kill like, God forbid, like thousands of people, whatever the thing is. Especially not just like a house fire. Especially it was like most house fires start off with like reasons that they don't really mean to happen. Whether it's cooking. I threw a candle in the ground and it spread everywhere. And so that's why we have to be careful in these things. And so I think we have to prevent them. And I think every single house should have like a mini fire extinguisher just in case something like this happens. Just keep it on hold or something like that. Because in all schools, and I think every single place, like I think even here I saw one, a fire drill just in case like a fire took place. Like it's very important to be alert that something severe is taking place, so people can evacuate, and the professionals can come in and like take place and help the people out, because I think it's very, very important. So fire drills should be everywhere, and even in homes. I think like even like there are lots of smart homes, like whether it's in Kuwait or like outside of Kuwait, whatever the case is, there should be like fire drills or like someone that's keeping people alert that something is going wrong, so they can like do something about it, you know.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, and what do you think about that, Judy?
I definitely think that you said exactly what has to be said, because basically if you don't have the fire drill or the fire extinguisher and something bad like happened, and you obviously if you waited until like the fire workers come, they would it would take a long time, especially if they weren't like, if they had everything to do, and like even if they needed 10 minutes, even 5 minutes like would cause the whole place on fire, and you obviously need water, but a fire extinguisher can do a better job than like offing the fire or closing it with water, because that's what I think basically.
You know, actually from my experience, but it can not only be like fire, sometimes it's burns, and like if like I hope nothing happens to you guys, someone gets burned or something, if it was a really like kind of big burn and like it was like someone's body or something, it's really important to call the ambulance actually. And like from my experience, what I've learned is that if you get burnt or something, you should use water, not any type of cream or anything. You know, there's this cream that smells like peanut butter or something. Yeah, you could put this later on, but like when you actually get burnt,
Like when it starts, when the burn starts.
You're not supposed to put on your skin this cream. You're supposed to put really cold water. And then when you go to the hospital, the doctors tell you what to put later on, because like sometimes when you put these types of creams, it would make your like skin get like
scarred. It'll scar the skin.
Probably,
It'll scar the skin.
So yeah, I think that's really important. And as I said, you should also call the ambulance, because like sometimes it's like not good for you to go like by yourself. Maybe if even if you fell on your back, I think it's really important to call the ambulance. Why? Because the ambulance, like the people there, they're gonna help you, like, and they're gonna give you medicine and stuff, so that you don't get hurt till you go there, and they're gonna put you in a position that is right for your back or whatever problem you have.
Yeah, and I've actually been inside like an ambulance car, not for like a reason, but for one of the segments here. I think Tala was with me and Karam as well. We went to the hospital and we went inside, and the space, like, I'm actually surprised. Like, it's a good type of space. Like, there are seats next to it. There are literally, I think, everything that could keep someone alive. Sorry?
There are cabinets inside.
Yeah, cabinets as well, and it's really, really like helpful for people that need like helping or anything like that. So I think it's very important that, as Tala said, any emergency, whether if it's small, like, I think people can use their brains. If it's just like that, like you literally just like put blaster, there's no need to call the ambulance for something that small. But if it's severe, like you were running and like something broke, God forbid, you know, your ankle or your leg or whatever it is, your phone is in your pocket, take it out, and you can just like call anyone ASAP, and they'll be there for you. Yeah,
definitely. I think that's really important.
Yeah. And we'll continue talking about this right after this quick report.
And right now I'm actually with the head of public relations, and I'm going to be asking him more about some of the questions for the normal life and the general life situations that you might encounter, in hopes of trying to give you some tips that you can possibly use in the future. So how are you?
Good, thank you.
I would like you to introduce yourself more.
Okay, my name is Osama Al-Muddin. I'm the head of public relation and coordination. And of course, our job as a paramedics is not just only working in the department of public relation. It's also saving lives and being in the places where there are people who are in needs for help.
Yeah, that sounds quite understandable, you know, like that's true. And you know, the first question that I wanted to ask you with is that what is like a general tip that you can give to mothers in the case of an emergency happening throughout their car drive?
Yeah, in case of emergency, the first thing we should do is to call for help. Actually, before even calling for help, make sure that the scene is safe, make sure you are safe, check for safety for yourself before anything else and anybody else. If the scene is safe, then you have to approach the patient or the injured person and check and see the vital signs, if they are breathing or not. And if they are seriously ill or seriously injured, then you have to call 112. Call an emergency. Don't hesitate to call 112 and ask them for help. As soon as you realize that this patient or this person is actually in need for help. Every minute counts for their lives.
And see, some of the most popular issues would be maybe a car accident, God forbid. And see, in the case of a car accident happening, and if the driver himself was actually the one that got injured, what should the passenger do if they don't really have that much of a good medical background?
Okay, car accidents and falling from heights. These two situations, we always advise people do not move the patient because there's a big possibility of an injury to their back and neck. Those injuries are very serious, and if you move these patients wrongly, you might make the injury worsen or even make, cause death actually. So do not move the patient, call for help, and if there's any bleeding, try to control the bleeding, and call for help from the people who are around you, the audience, people who stop for help. Anybody knows how to do first aid, or they have a background of first aid, any doctors around. And don't hesitate also to call 112 right away.
I mean, most people would actually have to do that, because the most important thing, once again, is for you to make sure that you can get the best help, which is most probably by calling an ambulance. And now moving on to other possible accidents that might actually occur throughout a car drive is some people might have some sort of asthma and they might get allergic towards the weather. In this situation, what should you do?
Asthma is a chronic illness. There's a lot of people who have asthma. Asthma, when you have this feeling of you cannot breathe out and there's congestion of air inside your chest, and if you don't have your inhaler with you, the best thing to do is to set up or lean forward. Do not lean back. Do not. Somebody who has asthma, if you tell them to go and lay back, you're actually killing them. So asthma people, they need to stand up or lean forward, just like in prayers, how you lean forward.
Yeah.
This is the best situation or position for asthma people to make them comfortable and increase the airflow inside the lung.
And my last question to you was actually, I wanted to ask you, have you actually encountered any of these situations outside of your work department, or are they usually throughout your work?
Actually, we face so many situations while we're working in the ambulance centers and outside the ambulance centers. Even if I am in my personal car and I'm not wearing my uniform, I always keep my ID with me. And if there's any accidents or if anybody needs help, I will flash my ID and say, I'm a paramedic, let me help.
Oh, I see. And thank you so much for your time. And I hope all you dear viewers understood so much more and took a few tips so that you won't potentially maybe make a situation or a scenario a lot worse. And we'll see you all back in the studio.
Welcome back, dear viewers, and I hope you guys enjoyed the report as much as we did. And so before we cut to our next topic, which is about the desert and things you can do in the desert and how you can be safe in the desert, Judy wanted to say something about the ambulance topic, so go ahead.
So keeping up from where we left, I just wanted to add something about the ambulance, and when they take you, you obviously have a place to sleep inside the actual ambulance before you get to the hospital, because this is where they help you out. So I've always seen it. I haven't seen one in real life because I have never been in a situation that led me to go there. And but I always see them in movies and series and all that, and they seem pretty just an actual room, but a little bit smaller. So I'm not sure if you have seen them.
I've actually been in one because I was in a car crash and
Wow.
um,
Can you tell us about your experience?
basically I was asleep and I woke up and the car was flipped over, and there were policemen carrying me out. Then I was taken to the hospital via ambulance.
Well, thank God,
So-
like
Thank
nothing
God.
too severe happened. Like, thank
So,
God.
like, how was it in the ambulance? What did they do to you?
Do you remember a lot or?
Well, I was asleep and then I woke up. First thing I said was, "Where's my phone? Is my phone
Where's
fine?"
my phone? That sounds so ironic. I think everyone would say that. Oh my God. Yeah, I think everyone would say, "Where's my phone?" But you're okay now, right?
Yes,
Yeah. So what, did that happen like a very long time ago? Or?
It was a while back. We
yeah.
were coming back from the desert,
Mhm.
you know, and in the desert it's pretty dangerous because the roads are not as
Study as it-
not as
Yeah.
steady. You know, there are some issues with the deserts. But speaking of deserts, there are many amazing things you can do in the desert.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Would you like to mention some things you can do in the desert?
Yeah, well, especially in our region, you know, the GCC, we have certain traditions.
Yeah.
Like going bugging, and
Yeah,
many people have chalets as well, where they go, you know, for the weekend or for holidays. And even though, you know, we spend most of our time in cities, in Kuwait, most of Kuwait is just a desert.
Yeah.
Yeah,
True.
so it's always amazing when we can go out to the desert, go camping, bugging, going to chalets, and even going to farms and seeing the farm animals.
Yeah. Like big farms in Kuwait, like the Abdali farm,
Abdali
it's
farm.
huge, and lots of like Kuwaiti like families own parts of these farms, and they grow things for like their needs and like maybe trade with other people. And it's actually really good. Like, I love how this is still continuing, although it was a tradition back then, it's still continuing now, which I think it's a really good thing.
Yeah,
don't you think so?
definitely.
Yeah, and Tala, what do you think about like the desert and what you can do there? And
Well,
how
I
fun
think
it is?
it's an amazing place to go actually, and it's really fun. But I really think you should really take so much care actually, especially as Jafar mentioned, bugging. It's actually really fun. But some people go crazy on the speed, and sometimes they flip over, and sometimes they break a leg or something. And I really think you guys should be careful. And that's why whenever we go there, you should really be sure to have a first aid kit with you, because you really don't know what happens.
Yeah.
I feel like every time I go to the desert, something happens.
Oh, did
definitely.
something actually happen every time you went to the desert?
Yeah,
or
actually,
was
I once was on the buggy. So basically, I really need you guys to make sure when you're riding the buggy not to turn around while you're going quickly, because then you would fall.
Yeah.
And
You
so
were
that
trying to
actually
drift,
happened
weren't
to
you?
me. Yeah, I was actually
Drifting?
Yeah, so I kind of I stepped on something. I don't know what was it. So like the whole buggy flipped, but like thank God nothing happened. I just like had a little cut here, but like I'm good.
Yeah, that's
God.
good.
There's like a lot of accidents that happen when you're on a buggy.
True.
Like I have seen a lot. Like every time, even on our family group, they keep on just sending stuff about like a girl that had an accident on a buggy. This is why my mom always had like a phobia from buggies. Like I do ride, but like she's just too scared when I go, and like because it like you never know what can happen like accidentally, and it's just scary to be there like, and then accidentally you go really fast and you just flip over. Like Tala, alhamdulillah, nothing happened to her, but like you never know like if other people didn't manage to go up, or like the buggy just flipped over again, and you know, a lot of accidents may happen so fast, like no one could understand like how quick it happened. So I think this is why you have to really take care and make sure like if you're gonna go on a buggy, you know how to actually ride one.
Yes, I agree with you, Judy, 100%. It's really important to take care of like what you know and what you don't know in order to, you know, be safe around the environment. And I will continue the conversation right back, but first you have to click to a quick report. Hello everyone and welcome back to our brand new segment. I'm Hawra and today I'm with Mr. Saleh. Can you please introduce yourself?
I am Salah Asaki from Emergency Medical Service Department. I come here for the.
That's great. So today we're going to be talking about the ambulance vehicle, which you can see right behind me. And I wanted to ask you a few questions since you're the expert here. So let's go ahead. So basically, let's say, what is the most important thing in this vehicle?
We have already inside the ambulance, ambulance and structure, and have oxygen monitor, ECG monitor. We have all items here, the soft items on everything.
Oh, well, that's perfect. So that means that when someone's in need or someone's in danger, all the things important are inside there already. So that's really good. Another question would be that how many people can fit inside this vehicle?
One patient we can put it inside the ambulance.
So only one patient. And what's if like family members want to come? How many family members?
Two.
Two family members and one patient. I think
Yeah.
that's a good amount.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. And how many paramedics should be inside?
Two paramedics inside, one driver and one go inside the cabin.
Oh, okay. So since we're talking about the paramedics, let's hop into the driver situation and let's see. When it comes to driving, how fast can like the vehicle go?
160 kilometer we can go.
Oh, it can
This
go
is
160 kilometers.
the limit for the pass for
Oh.
ambulance.
So-
160.
So because it's a big vehicle, I think like 160 is a good.
Yeah.
It's actually kind
but
of fast.
we allowed the 120 only allowed for ambulance pass.
Oh, okay. So it depends on how far it is
Yeah.
and things like that. Another thing I wanted to talk about is that something that's really like attractive in this vehicle are the lights and the noises. So why, like, when do you like put on the noises?
We put it already for the serious,
Mm-hmm.
for the serious case. We open the flash and the siren for all the government flash for a case.
Yeah, and it's really loud and really bright, so everyone, looks to that direction because it's really attractive, honestly. It's really loud and it has lots of lights. So that's that. Another thing I wanted to ask is that when it's a serious case, like how can you help the person if there like wasn't any of these? Like if the person is dying, let's say, what would you like use out of all
We
of
make
these?
it CVR, CVR, and this for cardio respiration, for response. For that, make for the.
Oh, well, that's actually really good. That's really helpful information, and I'll use it in my everyday life in case I come up with a situation like that, because you never know what might happen in real life, or you never know what situations or dangerous situations might come up your way. And so the paramedics are always there to help, and they're always there to rescue you if you're in danger, and if you're like having like, about to die or something like that, you can always call the paramedics and they'll be on their way as soon as possible, right?
They
At any
can
location.
call the 112
Yeah?
for rescue, and then we come for patient and help them.
Yeah, and I think that's like the most important purpose of it, and it's really helpful, and everyone like is really like paramedics are really like needed in everyday life because lots of things happen, so they're really like important for everyone. And I'd like to thank everyone for joining us with this segment, and thank you, Mr. Al Saleh.
You're welcome.
Would you like to say anything else?
Thank you for this meeting.
Oh, you're most welcome.
Thank you for everyone.
You're most welcome,
Thank you.
and we'll see you guys next time.
The ambulance is racing, she's speeding to the scene. Her sirens blare, her lights go flash, and this is what they mean. Watch out, an ambulance is coming. Watch out, an ambulance is coming. coming. When someone is in trouble, they dial 911. She gets the call and moves along, 'cause now she's on the run. She's loaded up with equipment to help somebody out. She's got the stuff to fix you up. She knows the fastest route. So move, move out of her way so she can get there fast. It's an emergency and she's gotta get past. Watch out, an ambulance is coming. Watch out, an ambulance is coming. The person she is helping is loaded up in back. The doors get closed and off they go to the hospital just like that. If someone's in a position with an urgent condition where there's not a physician, she can do great things. Yeah, she's not a magician, no, but helping people's her mission. She's got an emergency medical technician. So move, move out of her way so she can get there fast. It's an emergency and she's gotta get past. Hey, move, move out of her way so she can get there fast. It's an emergency and she's gotta get past. Watch out, an ambulance is coming. Watch out, an ambulance is coming. Hey, watch out, an ambulance is coming. Oh, watch out, an ambulance is coming.
Welcome back, dear viewers. I hope you guys enjoyed the report as much as we did. And sadly, we have reached today's the end of the episode. But it's okay because we're going to take the last word from everyone. So let's start with you, Jafar. What's your last word?
So you make it sound like I'm gonna die.
Oh no! Like what? Let's make it a bit more natural. What's like a piece of advice you'd like to share with everyone before we end the episode?
Well, to wrap up everything we were talking about, we obviously talk about two topics, but I think they, tie in
both
together.
link together,
They link
yeah,
together
yeah.
because I think everyone should be safe when doing anything, even staying at home, cooking in the kitchen. Make sure you're safe. Make sure you know how to get out of bad and sticky situations, and knowing how to deal with basic injuries and maybe more advanced injuries. And especially in the desert, since there are many things that could happen, especially when you're going buggying or you're with farm animals and they bite you, maybe you could get an infection. It's important to be cautious and to know how to deal with those different situations.
Yeah, I agree with you. And what about you, Judy? What's like your last piece of advice?
First of all, I want to say that I definitely prefer chalets over deserts, just because like you have AC if you go inside like the actual chalet. But a piece of advice is to always take care and like be careful if you cook or something to like light up a fire by accident, and be careful when you ride the buggy. Just be careful in general because you don't want anything to happen by accident and you don't know where like that can take you. So like take it.
Yeah, and what about you, Tala?
Well, I wanted to tell you guys to try to learn more about every single topic you actually we mentioned today. As Jeff had said, he wanted these courses and stuff. I think you guys should actually kind of try to learn about this and know more about such stuff, because you don't know how will it help you later on. And I think it's an amazing thing to do, and also stay safe whatever you're doing.
I agree with you guys 100%. All of you guys said things that are very important that people, I think, should know about, and people should, take more into, take care of it more. People should start taking care of things that might go wrong, whether they should or they shouldn't go wrong. I think it's important that people, take care of themselves. And my tip would be, it's more of a personal beauty tip, but I think everyone, especially in summer, should always be wearing sunscreen. Whether you're pale or you're dark or whatever it is, you should always be wearing sunscreen. I think it's very important important because actually it was dermatology tested that sunscreen helps your skin stay young, and it doesn't. And hey, do you actually want to go with like walking with like your skin? Okay, tan skin. I didn't say anything. Put tanning oil over your sunscreen, but then your skin will start to like what's the word? Like it will start to peel off, and it's actually really not that nice, and it hurts a lot. Although there are cures like aloe vera and things like that, it's not really like helpful. Do you want
when I traveled like last summer, I didn't put sunscreen because I thought that not putting sunscreen would make me more tanner. That was the wrongest mistake I did because when my skin peeled off, so did my face, and when my face peeled off, I know Jack had 2 colors of face. So basically here it was like my color, which is like I don't know what color it is, but like my skin color. Then here was the tan color, half peeled off. It was so disgusting because I just regretted that I didn't put sunscreen. And whenever I go to the beach or like to the pool now, the first thing I do before even putting my like tanning oil is putting sunscreen.
Yeah, sunscreen is really, really important, and it actually like helps in all ways. And yeah, I think today's episode went pretty well.
Yeah, it was really fun.
Yeah, it was really nice. I love the topics we talked about, and we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.